Man, like an old hat. Is it an old hat?
Nope.
Yeah, I know that's not it.
It's like an old hand.
What shoe?
An old shoe?
Like an old shoe. You're looking for the colloquial.
Yeah, what is it? It's like an old
hat.
It is a hat, right? It's like an old hat.
This is old hat time.
Perfect. Back in the winner's line. Let's go. Welcome into the DNVR Nuggets podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR right there whenever you sign up. I got some squads with me. You can't see them, but D-Line is here.
Oh, man. You got the full mileage out of that joke, both pre-game, post-game.
Every time you wear it, I'm making the same joke.
Can't see me,
What
bitch.
is that? That's wrestling? We don't know. Over here, I got Superstar Dev.
I mean, what a way, like a welcome back. That was a good welcome back game. We have been missing the Nuggets for quite some time. Our anticipation was up, and they delivered.
Let's go.
Welcome
I wasn't
back.
even missing him, to be honest. I needed a break.
You too needed to be refreshed.
I didn't even know that I got refreshed. I just was get tired of being mad at Will Barton. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like needed that time off.
Well, there was no need to be mad at Will Barton and
We
tonight.
back,
He's really back. I mean, he had a fantastic game. Arguably his best game of the season. I mean, he's had some very good games like all around, but tonight he was scoring that thing. 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 of 17 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3. We'll get all into it, but you guys know we have a brand new segment. Before we get to it, though, I have two things, two house cleaning.
Do you want us to respond to that?
Yeah, we have a new segment. You know what it is?
Yeah, we do. It's the recap.
The rundown recap. What are we going to call it?
We don't
It's
even have an
branded.
official name. Are we branding it right now?
Well, can you make a graphic? God damn, if I ask you to make something on the fly, you just
All right, I'm on it, dude.
No,
I'm on it, dude. What do we call it? The rundown recap?
Piece of house cleaning. Kale, actually, if you could help me out here, we have got the party bus that is going to be coming up on March 26th. We're already selling tickets. There is a limited amount together. I think it's somewhere around 100. So if you want to sign up, don't delay.
Baby.
Put it in your calendar. Like I said, March 26th. I just feel something special is going to happen, guy. I don't know like how you guys feel. I'm telling you, it's a Saturday. I'm being serious.
All that means is that if nothing special happens, we'll make something special happen.
Could be.
Adam will take his shirt off.
But I'm telling you, maybe Murray's back that game. Maybe DJ's back. Like I just think it's going to be a giant love fest is what it's going to be. So you want in on this love fest. It's going to be fantastic.
Sounds like a terrible proposition you're putting out.
So you want to check that out. And then also tomorrow, I know a lot of people watch the Winners Lounge, but maybe don't tune in for every single show. Tomorrow, 2:30, Bones Highland on the DNBA show. You're not going to want to miss it. Bones, he was fantastic. All right. Let's give the quick recap here, guys. To start this game, Aaron Gordon looked fantastic. The first, 3 minutes of this game, Aaron Gordon looked like prime Michael Jordan. And him and Barton both. I mean, Barton continued it for the entire game, but you really did see, I thought, early on that those guys looked spry. They looked fresh. Jokic did not take a shot, again, until the very end of his first stint. He did attack and got fouled on the drive, but he didn't take a shot for forever. And you think, oh my gosh, here comes another one of these games. The Nuggets bench finished the first quarter very strong, had a good run. Denver pulled ahead. One of the stories of tonight is the Nuggets kept pulling ahead, kept letting it go, kept pulling ahead. Second quarter, Sabonis absolutely murdered the Nuggets' bench. No DeMarcus Cousins tonight. Sabonis went to town. He had 14 points in a row or something. The pick and roll was killing the Nuggets. Even when Jokic checked back in the game, Sabonis had it going. He was rolling. But they were also killing Sacramento. It was like a no defense fest there for a while. Both teams were scoring at will. Third quarter, a little bit of a slug. Nuggets opened up to a big lead. I think it was a 14-point lead. And again, that was when I was like, okay, game's over. They're putting it away. Nuggets immediately trip over themselves. Sabonis goes on another run by himself against Jokic this time. Third quarter, Nuggets pull away again. Then they shot themselves in the foot again. Aaron Gordon inbounded the ball to a Kings player underneath the basket in what was like a 6-0 run in 10 seconds somehow for Sacramento. It was so annoying. Denver beat Sacramento by 24 different times tonight. They really did. And then in the fourth quarter, the bench was actually fantastic. JaMyke Green hit a huge shot. He actually had 2 big shots, but he hit a huge 3 that was sort of this pivotal moment in the game. And then Jokic checks back in a little bit earlier than usual. 8 minutes to go in the game. Usually Jokic comes back around 7-minute mark. He comes back at the 8-minute mark in this game. Plays hard for about 4 minutes and looked like the MVP. Jokic in tonight had a very good game. He was in second gear, and when he put it into sixth gear there for 3 minutes, the Nuggets just won the game, and it was all right. That's my recap. How'd I do?
Oh, wow. I feel like I just I was there. I just relived that game.
I looked over at you guys constantly, as I look at the camera, I look at the audience, I look back over here. You guys were not paying attention at all.
Well, I was trying to figure out why my cord got unplugged from my computer.
You're trying to figure it out, or you're trying to plug it back in?
Well, first off, I was figuring out if it did in fact get unplugged, and then anyway, great job, Adam.
Nobody knows how hard it is to run a show that nobody's paying attention to on the panel. Only the audience is.
I also just
I'm being bothered by him this entire time. It's hard for me to focus. Like, he has a lot going on here.
So, Dev, I'll start with you. What's your big takeaway from this game?
That it was undoubtedly Will Barton's best game of the season.
Wow, okay.
Like, it wasn't close to me.
He's had some good games this year.
Yeah, he's had some good games, and we go back to the game where Jokic was not playing, and he had his, what was before this the best game of the season, but he did this within the flow of the offense, and he also was the second option, pretty much the first option for the entire game without actually pressing. Like, he took 17 shots in this game, and there was a small stint that I felt like he was overshooting, but other than that, like, it's a heat check moment at this time. He has a plus 27 in the game, and guys knew to just make it happen around him. It wasn't like he was like forcing it out, and that's why he is our DraftKings king of the game.
DraftKings Sportsbook king of the game, yeah.
31 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Like, if you could get that from Will Barton on a night-to-night basis, you really can get like everything from this team, and that like just separates them and puts them in a better situation.
Eric, what I like about it is Dev called it. I mean, he's like, Barton's going to go off tonight. Put all your money on it. He's going to... Isn't that what you said in the pregame, Dev?
Yeah, something like that.
No, 31 points. Isn't this a crazy stat, though, Eric? This is only his 9th 30-point game.
Yeah.
Like, Barton's a scorer.
He is a scorer.
Isn't that kind of surprising? He's like a 28 per game, like when he has...
It's the 9th in his career?
In his career.
That actually is really surprising. It's just, I think it says more to the fact that, like, he hasn't gotten a lot... Like, he's been a starter, but, like... He's not been a starter his whole career, first off.
Right,
he was the people's champ. He had to rise up from the ground, and then he was a first option for like a little bit on the Nuggets, but more often than not, he's been injured. He's been on the bench. There's just been a lot of inconsistency in Will Barton's career. I love when Will has a good night.
Yeah.
It just is. First off, you know that the anti-Will mob is going to at least leave us alone for an evening, which is always a nice.
So it is nice.
And if you can get scoring from any member of the Nuggets that isn't Nikola Jokic, that you don't necessarily expect, it's just always just a nice, easy night. And when Will goes off, it's great. So I love seeing it. I mean, I feel absolutely like he looks refreshed. Like he looks like Dev was saying, he was playing in the flow of the offense. He wasn't being trying to do too much ever. I mean, it was a great game by Will.
And even when he had it going, like there were times in that fourth where I just thought, like, he's got 30. Will knows his records. Like, he was within striking distance of his career high, which I believe 37 points. Like, he could have gunned for it, and he kind of didn't. Like, he kind of just like took the shots as they came to him, and I was like, hey man, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. Although I wouldn't have minded if he gunned it when they were up 20. Like, all right, just take a couple threes. Just take a couple threes. Just see what happens. You earned it.
Yeah. The thing about Will Barton is, like, really, every single time that he gets rest, he comes back like rejuvenated.
So true,
like,
man.
A lot of his season has to be about like if he's healthy, and that's been
his
like the
career.
story. Yeah, I was about to say that's the story of Will Barton throughout his entire career. Because these type of games, like, it's not a coincidence that he comes off of a break and he comes back and he has the best game of his career. Like, then not a career, but of the season.
Right.
Then he has those moments where, like, he'll go on a bad stretch. Maybe he gets hurt. He takes some time off. He comes back. He plays well. It happens every single time that he gets rest, and it just goes to show maybe they don't need to press him too much where he's playing all of these minutes. Like, Will Barton healthy is the best Will Barton. I mean, it makes sense, but he just needs it a little bit different than other players.
I know. They just don't have any other options.
Right.
Like, everybody that would take his spot from a scoring standpoint is hurt.
There is a sort of like Facu thing going on here where if Facu is your backup, like chain curveball or whatever, third stringer, like it works maybe if you elevate him too much. With Barton, it's the same thing. Like, Barton's supposed to be the fourth option or fifth option on offense, and right now he's kind of the second on many nights. But I am hopeful One of the things I thought about this year, and Barton has made reference to this, by the way, about how every year he goes hard in the regular season and wears down and then misses the playoffs. And when he went through that mid-season, when maybe he's still going through it, this is just a one-off, but when he went through the lull, I did just wonder, like, is this guy given like 80% because he knows, like, he's learned that it's a marathon and he's just, I mean, you look at Jeff Green out there, that's a vet. Jeff Green was not playing hard tonight.
Can we say that Jeff Green was playing tonight?
Jeff Green was not like, I'm telling you, you watch the game as an outsider, like us watching it, on all the fans watching it on TV. You're so much more nervous and into it. Like the players tonight, especially how the game went. I feel like Jokic was like, "Yeah, I knew exactly how this game was going to go." You guys were worried about the game, like, no, that was.
This is the. It's much more terrifying when you're a passenger in a car phenomenon.
So true.
We are sitting back. We don't know all of the. What's going on with the team? We don't know how Jokic is feeling. All we have is what is presented to us, and it didn't look good for a long time.
It is true, man. That's a great phenomenon. I hate that phenomenon. I hate
everybody
when you're
hates.
Yeah, everybody hates it when you're right and you're like, man, are you in control?
Because you have no control, right?
Yeah,
you have control, bro.
But then if you're driving, you're like, yeah, it's fine. It's just a car.
Chill out.
All right, Eric, what's your big takeaway?
I think my big takeaway tonight was the Nuggets look like they're ready to kind of take that. I know
it's just a whimsical little song.
I push play. This is my ISO song. Yeah.
Wow, your ISO song.
No, I just think the Nuggets look like they're ready to like take that step into the last stretch of the season. It's, you know, like we saw the guys that looked tired, needed rest, got rest. The Nuggets sort of, confusingly, I mean, Mike Singer answered my tweet when I put out a very confused, why in God's name is Boogie not playing? Like, you just see what the bench looks like without him. It's so frustrating. But then the starters came back in. The last stint just absolutely crushed the Kings, took care of business. We were nervous. Why were we nervous? We shouldn't have been nervous. They just kind of look like they've reset a little bit. And I love that. I kind of like that they were kind of playing with their food in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would be my take. Here would be my big takeaway. The Nuggets bench tonight is still all in the negative, other than Austin Rivers, who was fantastic in this game. But if you look at it, like,
I think I know why.
JMyke Green -1, Bones Highland a -7, Forbes -2. But it didn't matter. Like, we've talked about this. If the bench is just okay, it doesn't matter. Like, and the bench was tonight. They gave up some big runs, but they also had some big runs.
Yeah.
And like, when you do that, you really see how good the starters are. And the starters tonight, like we talk about, Jokic tonight kind of got beat up by Sabonis in the middle of the game, quarters 2 and 3. Sabonis got rolling and was taking it to Jokic. Jokic was a +17 tonight. The starters still murdered that matchup. And to me, that's the big takeaway is, like, it's funny how much this season comes into context a little bit about so much of it was the bench was just terrible. It was so bad that it's disguised everything that's going on. Now that the bench is not terrible, it's like, oh yeah, Denver's winning by 18 points on a night where you're like, they played a B- game.
The bench like was terrible, except for that they also were kind of good sometimes, but they were terrible for stretches. Like
they were really good through stretches too, though.
But I just watched them getting, like, their deficiencies were on full display. The positives were that they can make some shots sometimes. Like Austin Rivers is a vet. Austin Rivers had a great game tonight. Like he was great defensively. He made some really clutch, tough 3-point shots. But I watched the bench just get out-rebounded. I watched Los Dos Verdes be paired together again as the 4 and 5 combo on the bench and just get absolutely murdered. But adding the elements back in, which turns out maybe just is Boogie and potentially Zeke Naji, like, I mean, would they have won by 40 points?
Well, the story tonight for Sacramento was Sabonis.
Yes.
So does DeMarcus Cousins make a bigger imprint on the rebounding and on just defending him? No question. To me, we'll probably find out on Saturday.
Yep.
But to me, I think there's no question. Sabonis was great tonight. He probably just has like 6 fewer points, 3 fewer rebounds, and this game never actually gets close.
Yeah, but even just having a Cousins, I think that like swings, like just maybe a little bit. Like maybe you get a little bit more momentum. Maybe you get a little bit going on the second unit, because right now I don't feel like they had a horrible game in comparison to how they played throughout the entire season. So like right now they didn't play well, they didn't play bad, but if they have Cousins back, that's a big part of their their whole unit right now that's just missing right now, which is wild to talk about.
I just can't get over the fact that I personally, Eric Weedham, am pining so hard for Boogie Cousins on a night out.
I think I'm over the hump too, to be honest with you. I told you I was the slowest one just because I really did not like DeMarcus Cousins. I think I've been the slowest one. I'm over. I'm with you. I'm like, you know what? He's one of us. He's one of us.
It's over, dude. It's over. Like,
it's over.
He is.
We buried the hatchet.
Even though he's not actually technically a Nugget.
He's actually not.
He's actually not part of the team currently.
We could get a Woj bomb at any moment. It's like, DeMarcus Cousins joined the Lakers. What the hell is going on?
Oh, man, would that suck.
That
Don't
would
even
really
say
suck.
that. Why are you putting that out in the
I'm just kind of messing here.
here.
The rebounding tonight, though, with that second unit, again, I just don't think it's a long-term problem, but Jeff Green was that second unit tonight. He had 3 total rebounds.
Dude, Jeff Green.
In 25 minutes, 3
Does he need another All-Star break?
He might have been. I'm telling you, he's the vet, though. He's the true vet. Like, he probably did go to Mexico, caught the latest possible plane back. You know, like the guy like didn't sleep at all. Like, I got back, but I didn't get enough time to sleep.
Oh my god.
JaMychal Green, though, going 2 for 2 from the 3-point line tonight was huge, and I actually thought he made up for it. He too only had 3 rebounds, but he battled inside. He drew some fouls, and he knocked down arguably two of the biggest shots of the game because they were like, which way is this going to go? And both times he hits it, it goes Denver's way.
And also, like, Boogie Cousins is not, like, actually part of the team, but, like, those are the minutes that he's been playing lately. So Jeff Green steps into a position that he used to have, and he looks like himself. Knocking down those shots just gives them another option to, like, you know, really have to step out on. He's knocking down threes. He's battling inside. He's defending, like, the big guys on the other end and just trying to fill that void. So not a bad game from him.
Bones Highland, friend of the show.
Oh, man.
Maybe best friend of the show? Wow.
Wow. Bones Highland,
maybe
best friend of the show.
Fan of the show, maybe? We'll have to wait
Bones
to see.
Highland,
might have to wait to see
number
tomorrow's
one
interview.
fan of the show.
Number 1 fan? Are we exaggerating? Maybe. Tonight he had that tough assignment. Look, we did all predict this one. Like, Davion Mitchell's a hell of a defender, man. Turns out a hell of a flopper, too. I didn't know he was a flopper.
He's just like a ball of energy, as you said.
Yeah, he is.
What is he? Who is Davion Mitchell?
Davion Mitchell's like a taller Facu.
A taller Facu. I could see it. He could shoot better than a smaller Facu, but he's just he's crafty, man, in like obnoxious ways.
He's just that he gets into you full court. He turns you like 20 times. Like, tonight, Bones did a good job, I thought, of not. Let me how many turnovers he had. He only had 1 turnover. He did a good job of not turning it over, but Davion Mitchell did a good job of making Bones work like 15 seconds to bring the ball up the court, and that was enough. Like,
it's wild.
It disrupted it. So while I thought Bones did a good job sort of handling it, it was also a good challenge. Like, that was a real challenge for him.
Yeah, it definitely disrupted him. Like, I don't think that. I think Bones did not get the better of that. Davion definitely got the better of that matchup. Bones was off.
Sure.
And I could only look inward. Did I throw him out?
Well,
my interview with Bones.
Yeah. Do you know what would have helped tonight?
What's that?
Those bone-crushing screens from DeMarcus Cousins.
Man,
I see what you did there.
Let's just hang for a little bit. Listen, let that joke.
It wasn't even a joke. It was like a literal. That's what it's a bone-crushing thing.
Great job, Adam. Great job.
Davion Mitchell, like, really, I didn't realize how fast he was. Like, that dude he's lightning quick. Like, seriously,
he's
like
a super freak, man.
And also, like, I think that's why he's such a great defender as well. He takes chances. He flops. He already feels like a vet on that side of the ball, and I'm actually like excited to see the type of defender that he's going to become. Like, he's only a rookie and he plays meaningful minutes.
Yeah.
And it's all impactful the entire time that he was there. Like, you ask if Bones felt him the entire time.
Yeah.
He really didn't give him anything, and that's just the type of player that he is. He's flopping. He's, turning you every single way. He's physical with you without fouling. He's in your head. Like, that's a really good player. Like, they got them a good player over there.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, everybody's on the bandwagon now. I'm telling you, this was my guy. I'm telling you, Denver needs a Davion Mitchell. That's their best shooting guard, is a guy like that that's literally a cancel out, waste 10 seconds of every defensive possession because he's that good of a defender. Why don't we hit a break? On the other side, though, we are going to get into some of the other starters and just kind of talk about the Nuggets, their momentum and everything else. I'm telling you, this game was a telling one to me. The Nuggets, this was the most casual win they've had against a team that is like...
This was like oddly casual.
Oddly casual.
Because it didn't feel casual for most of it. It felt irritating.
I'm telling you, though, man, it was casual.
I know.
That's the story.
Like, in hindsight, but after the break.
After the break. You guys... One of my favorite new sponsors here, Ivaca TV. Why are they my favorite?
Dude.
For like a million reasons. They are a local company.
Yes.
They are bringing us the Nuggets. I don't know if you guys heard this, man. Mike Senior, Denver Post reported this over the weekend. Remember we were all talking about this big summit that Comcast and Altitude was going to get together? Guess what? Finally, first of all, they're like, good news, guys. We're going to have mediation. And then it didn't get through. And then it took forever. So I am almost at this point rooting for it never to work out.
Dude,
I'm rooting for Ivaca TV, who, by the way, we have had a lot of people now say, hey, we switched, been happy with it, and I love it. If you do switch over to Ivaca TV, hit us up on Twitter. I want to know. I want to be able to share with this. They are a brand new paradigm solving this problem, providing a bunch of channels, including, of course, Altitude, Sports, and other national channels. And now you can get them right for $25 per month plus
Dude,
the receiver.
I would pay $25 a month if it was just the Nuggets.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, basically it is like $25 at Vaca TV. Boom, you got Altitude TV. You've solved your Nuggets problem. And here's the cool: no contracts, no hidden fees, and the price is locked in for 2 years. So this is not a thing where they rope you in and the next thing you know, it's like skyrockets up. No, 2 more years, you get locked into that absolute rate. AT&T Sports Net, Rocky Mountain, coming soon. Again, this is your sports package. Dude. I'm telling you, Ivaca TV is the future. Check them out; they are fantastic. And here's the other thing you didn't know about them.
What? I thought I knew everything about Ivaca TV.
They're going to be providing some cool stuff for the bus, the party bus. March 26th, the party bus of Ivaca TV is going to be a sponsor of this.
Am I invited to this party bus?
You're not supposed to know everything, Eric. You know, you're not. That's not your job. I know this stuff. Ivaca TV, check them out. They've been fantastic. Also want to tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook. Hoops fans, the latest offer from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is too good to pass up. I'm talking between the legs. 360 windmill good. New customers can bet $1 on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. It's that simple. DraftKings Sportsbooks can also do what we do every single pregame show. Single game parlay.
Let's
Tonight,
go, dude.
I had a 3-leg parlay. I had the Nuggets winning. Hit it.
Boom.
I had Bryn Forbes making a 3. Hit it.
Boom.
I had Jokic getting 13 rebounds. He got 12. He got 12 rebounds. Oh, I feel like I was right, even though I was wrong. So you can buy multiple bets, you get a bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up to get that deal. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. $5 minimum deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Back here, segment 2 of the DNVR Nuggets podcast. Want to remind you, of course, that we have Bones Highland on the show tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. 2:30. It will also be in the DNVR Nuggets podcast feed. So if you're a podcast listener, don't worry. We'll have that for you as well.
City,
and also, don't forget, we had some great shows earlier in the week that you can go back and listen to. A lot of good stuff going on, even on off days. Monte Morris tonight had a sneaky great stat line, guys. He was a plus 25, which was second best on the team. 19 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block shot for Monte, by the way. I love that he got one of everything. But 7 of 9 from the field.
Yeah, and he also challenged Fox the entire time. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
good
player,
point.
a type of player like just the archetype
It's also
of a person that's just
the exact player that always gives him a hard time.
that really just destroys him every single time.
Yeah.
Like, he's just super quick, gets to his spots, finishes, and Monte answered it. And that's coming, Monte's just now coming back from his injury. He also needed that break desperately because
I agree.
He came back right before the break and had a pretty good game, and now he's consistent. He's back to scoring the basketball, which I felt like he went away from. So for him to go consistently, score the basketball, but also defend on the other end and give De'Aaron Fox just trouble and different looks. That's just progression on his end, and it just shows the type of player that Monte really is right now.
Let's recap the last moments that we've known of Monte Morris. He knocks down the game winner to send us into the All-Star break, hits that three-pointer. Then we see him immediately pictured on a yacht, relaxing, suntanning.
You think that he was definitely more refreshed? Were you on a yacht for this break when you were?
I was yacht adjacent.
Really?
Not really.
You were not. You were definitely not.
No, I definitely wasn't. But that's
Can
why.
I tell you? Can I tell you how my little trip went? Because I went to Disney World and I was with my
Please.
in-laws. I'm gonna
Please.
complain about my in-laws here.
There's
this one ride you do. It's the Star Wars ride, and it's a screen, and then you have the controls, and this or that. The controls mean very little. They mean very little. 3 minutes or 4 minutes this ride was. My in-law screaming at me that I'm not driving this thing correctly. Waited like 2 hours to ride this ride. She's yelling at me for these controls that don't actually do anything. I was so mad. I was so livid. So I was not relaxing on the yacht. I was not. People said, "Hey, Adam, you look refreshed coming back." I was just happy to be back.
Yeah, you're refreshed that you're back.
I'm refreshed that I'm back.
But Monte vibes, like they've never, have they ever been higher? Like we saw him again with Al Harrington. Monte.
You really love this Al Harrington bit about it.
I'm just saying though, like truly, like he's really like in a good place. Like that shot going into the All-Star break was amazing. And
you're right, actually. I wonder if you do get a little bit of.
I'm saying, dude,
you probably do.
He sent me into the All-Star break with a smile on my face.
That's
Obviously,
so true.
the smile dissipated as soon as I realized I didn't get to watch the Nuggets for a week. But all the same,
it's so true though, man. That shot, I wasn't on the show, although I was watching it in my hotel room. A shot like that and a game like that, you have to sit on it for 8 days. You miss it, 8 days of just like.
Oh, dude,
make it. You're just like.
It was the highest leverage moment of the Nuggets season. We were either going to be elated or devastated with no room in between. I said that was the best moment of the season so far because
it might have been, man.
Because if Monte misses that shot, they lose.
You're right.
The Aaron Gordon shot, if he hits it, they're just still tied. Or if he misses it, they're still tied.
Yeah, and with them hitting it, it's probably like a pivotal like moment of Monte right now. Like instead of just like resting throughout the break, he probably worked harder. He's like, hey, I just came off of like one of my best games right after an injury. I'm that guy.
He's that guy, dude.
I'm going to continue to play well instead of just like cruising. I know that there was a lot of guys that cruised like throughout this like time. I don't think that he was one of those.
I think
guys.
he literally cruised though.
He did. We actually saw a photo.
He was literally cruising.
Well, we see him with water. We didn't see him cruising.
It didn't look like there was like a
you
big like.
picked the one word.
A lot of guys just sailed on through the All-Star break, but not Monte. Well,
in a minute. But it's. I mean, I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm just seeing guys like that, Monte Morris especially, like the guys that are sort of around the fringe, outside of the obvious Nikola Jokic and sometimes Aaron Gordon core, being able to step up and like give you things that you maybe weren't getting for big parts of the season, like. Makes you feel like, all right, like again in purgatory, but we're kind of like trending up a little bit. Like we might need. It's like we're gonna be upper lower class.
Sweet, that's great. It's a great place to be. Nice little cul-de-sac.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, fresh perks. We gotta talk some about Yoke. You guys remember Kimbo Slice?
Of course, R.I.P.
Absolutely.
I actually love Kimbo. Kimbo was like early internet, man. Like very, very early internet.
The most
Some of these
terrifying
don't
image
know.
I ever saw.
Oh, when he punched the dude's eye socket. And it was
I didn't like that.
all
Yeah, that was terrifying.
So I'm talking about that specific fight because if you remember this exact fight, there is a moment in that fight when Kimbo just is like, hit me, and this is another big dude, and the dude just unloads on him while he just takes the shots and then breaks his eye socket. That was Yoke tonight. Yoke tonight, like he was so dominant down the stretch that those punches he was taking from Sabonis early, you now in hindsight realize were like he was just like whatever. Go have your fun. I'm sleeping, man. What is it? Fourth quarter. Okay, watch this. I'm telling you, it was like 3 minutes. The Yoke. It wasn't just Yoke. I mean, a lot of guys participating, but led mostly by Yoke. It just put him in the sleeper, man.
Yeah, just having those type of moments. Really, like, that's just, like, what Jokic has become. Like, even his bad games are amazing games. And this is not to say he's a bad game, but it's just, like, a game that he's not really trying in. And everyone else is, like, just getting their own and everybody else is scoring. And he really understands that in these type of games. Will Barton scores 31 points in a game, and Jokic kept deferring to him. That's, like, a guy that understands the moment. He could have easily, like, went for 40 in this game if he wanted to, but he's like, all right, we're coming back from the All-Star break. The team has everything going. I'm going to take over when I need to. And when he needed to, like late in the fourth quarter, that's when he actually took over. That's when he stepped up. So that's a smart Jokic. He's coming off an All-Star break, and he's just like, I'm going to cruise in these type of games. When you guys need me, that's when I'm going to be the best player in the NBA every single time. And, you know, like down the stretch, they're going to need him. So these are not the games that you need.
It's true. I still wish. I just want to watch Jokic dominate. I just want like that game where you can be like, when everybody puts up Embiid stats, getting 40 points, 50 points. Like I just want
Jokic just never does it. That's the thing.
I
is
know.
Like Jokic
I just
doesn't care.
I know. I wish I could make him care. Like I just want him to go out and just murder. Like in the way that we know he can. He can score whenever he wants to in the most hilarious ways.
He did have a hilarious one late
Dude,
because
he had
I think
like
he got a
4
little
hilarious
mad.
ones.
This is what I'm talking about though with Sabonis, because Sabonis was like feeling himself tonight. Like
Right.
Sabonis was feeling himself tonight,
Yeah.
and when Jokic closed the door in the fourth quarter, I do feel like there was a little bit of a like. You were feeling yourself? You thought that was you thought that was the game in the second quarter because he had this one like little spin left hook where he kind of threw it like this.
Oh,
And it was like nothing but net, and he kind of threw it in a way that was like,
dude, it didn't even look like a shot.
it didn't. It looked like he was like, it's so easy. I'm not even gonna shoot this one. I'm just gonna go like that.
I know. Why does he do that a bunch? Like the whole game. Whatever.
He's the freaking best.
He's a freak. I know.
Jokic's the
He's
freaking
best.
best. I can't believe it. He also was full Cookie Monster tonight, man. Full
We have
Cookie
4
Monster.
steals?
4 steals, but he
Four
also had
steals.
deflections. He probably had 20 deflections.
And he baits guys into
He
like
does.
making stupid passes or like just passes they don't expect him to go and get. He like sets them up, and the guards just still make the pass.
Dude, how good is Jokic? Like, if you want to know how good Jokic is, like, Will Barton was our consensus player of the game. We've talked about Jokic twice as long as him already. Like, we just can't get enough. Like, it's just
Well,
everything
also,
about
like,
him.
Barton just had his 9th 30-point game, best game of the season.
Yeah,
Jokic
we're
had
like, yeah,
6
because you're-
fewer points
anyway.
than him. Like, he
Yeah,
just was
I
right
know,
there.
I know. And we're mad that he didn't try hard enough to score.
He's so freaking dominant,
He's so
man.
dominant.
Jokic is hilariously dominant. He really is, man. I'm telling you. He really is to the point, too. The great ones had this, like Kobe and Jordan and like the great scorers. When I say the great ones, I mean the great scorers,
Yeah.
which Jokic is a great scorer, where it's like it doesn't really matter what happened in the first 3 quarters. You're like, let's just wait and see. And that was total Jokic tonight. It's like, I can't tell. Does he have it tonight? He's like, oh, yeah, he totally had
Just,
it. But
he always has it.
yeah, he did. He has it. So I thought that was really good stuff. What else we have? Anything else from this game?
Let's think about this game as a unit. So,
Well-
what else was of note? So, Aaron Gordon
Actually,
started
I have
off really
something.
well.
I have something for you. Tonight was Michael Malone's 300th
Yes.
win.
Yes.
300th win, and honestly, a big milestone. Michael Malone talked about this before the game, and I don't remember. I was on the call, but I didn't know. Sometimes you can't hear the questions that are being asked. I don't know if he was being asked about winning 300 or if it was about being back in Sacramento, but he made the point that it's really rare for any coach to stick around 7 years. If like you go through and say what percentage of coaches last 7 years at one place, it's probably 5%, 10%. It's a really low number. Most coaches fail within their first 5 years. Most within like 2 or 3.
Oh, for sure.
For him to be at 300, striking distance of George Karl and Doug Moe. Like at this point, we can actually say, hey, there's a chance he catches Doug Moe, who's the winningest coach in Nuggets franchise history. It's like
wild.
it's not that unfathomable now at this point that he could get there, especially when you think that Denver should be a 50-plus win team every year going forward.
I mean, not without mentioning that it's with Nikola Jokic.
Of course.
No, I know, but I'm saying like, and why has he been here for 7 years? Why does he continue to stay on? Because they've increased their win total every single year. The Nuggets have gotten better and better and better under Michael Malone, regardless of how frustrating his rotations can be at times, regardless of whether or not we think he calls the right timeout at the right time. Like
Right.
he's just got something bigger cooking when it comes to this team. He sometimes will push the wrong buttons, but in the larger macro, like he's absolutely figured out how to construct the right culture, the right locker room, empower the right players, Nikola Jokic especially,
Yeah.
and allowed, what you can tell to be like a really positive locker room. Like whenever we see shots of them awarding the defensive player of the game, it's always hilarious.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing. Like, I mean, I've never been in an NBA locker room, but I've heard tale that they're not always so joyous. Oftentimes they're sort of run by ego, and it's just not something you see. in
Here's what's
Denver.
crazy. At 300, Doug Moe's record, 432. So he's 132 off now of Doug Moe. 50-win season, you average. Let's say I think Denver at least gets 50 wins the next 2, knock on wood, next 2 seasons. And maybe another 20, 30, like 3 seasons. I think 3 seasons. If he stays for 3 seasons, he will pass that record. So,
wild.
Dev, does he get to 433?
I think he does.
Wow.
I think he does get there just because like we've seen his maturation process. We've seen like it's been really rocky for him at times, and that was early on, and he even alluded to that in the pregame where he's like, hey, they could have easily gotten rid of me at, game 82. Right. He's got through those moments. He's got through that rough patch because now like the Nuggets are on the up and up. Eric just talked about it. Every year they've progressed in every single way. And also Malone has progressed every single year. Like those same things that you were frustrated about 3-4 years ago, he's not doing those same things. It's just different things, but he's adding to those type of things. But also, you know that the wins are coming. You know that the team is getting better. You know that his star players, all of them, enjoy having him as their coach. Yeah. And I think that I like noticed that most now with Jamal Murray on the sideline. Like when they were playing together, there was just times that he would take him out and I'd be like, hey, I wonder if there's something there. But now that they had the time that they're really not, together, they talk about like that type of bond that they have and how much it is. And I think that all the players have that for him. You don't hear those negative like stories and situations from him. And also you could tell like even though he does call out like front office of like, hey, I really want this guy, wink, wink. He stays out of those type of things. And I think that that's a lot different where you're not using the media and you're not using those times to actually like force any hand. So I think that front office like some teammates like him, fan base is starting to come around to him. So, yeah, I think he gets there.
The only way he doesn't get there is that like the fact that expectation has now risen. The win totals have risen every season. If he takes like serious steps back with the players intact in the playoffs,
playoffs is the key there.
Yes, if we have like 2 first-round exits in a row, then we get into dicey territory. Right. We've seen Josh Kroenke come in, and after making the playoffs for 10 straight years, George Karl was, he was let go after winning Coach of the Year. So nobody's safe when it comes to like actual expectation. But at this point, like it seems plausible.
I do think the point, though, you're making is the important one here, which is that at this, this year is a bit of a free roll because of the injuries or this or that. But going forward, like the expectations go sky high, and you talk about a first round exit, a second round exit to a team that people think you should beat. That also sort of counts to at some point you get to is he the guy that's going to get us over the hump, or is he the guy that got us here? And that's why we can sit here and say 3 more seasons they'll do it because they're going to be good, but you just never know, man. You just never know. But 300 is a hell of a milestone. Easily now, in my opinion, the on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, we talked about this before, but Doug Moe, Larry Brown, George Karl were locks. I think Michael Malone's now a lock as the 4th one. The closest competitor to him would be Dan Issel, who had 2 stints, but I think he already has more wins than Dan Issel. And be honest, significantly better eras than Dan Issel as well.
So when Michael Malone is carved into the side of the mountain, is he carved with or without hair?
I think with. Okay. He looks a lot better with hair.
I mean, I agree. It's probably easier to carve.
It is easier to carve. Yeah, you leave more rock there. So we'll take another break. On the other side, we're hoping Harrison will be able to join us. We'll get to your super chats, and we'll go around the association. The association gets more and more important the later we get in the season, guys.
Does it?
It really does. Well, it really does, Eric. Does it?
Does it?
Really does. Breckenridge Brewery is the official beer of DNVR. Do you guys know one of the many perks you get from being a DNVR member? Tall beers at the DNVR Bar.
Yeah.
So it's really Breckenridge Brewery special you get because we have 8 Breck brews on tap, including the Vanilla Porter Jr. We got the Mile High City Copper Lager. We got the Strawberry Sky. We got the Avalanche Amber, which this time of year, it's an Avalanche Amber type of year, if we're being honest. This time of year.
Well, who's being honest?
Nobody. Vanilla Porter Jr. also. It's also that time of year.
It's back.
Maybe Vanilla Porter Jr.
is back.
It's Vanilla Porter Jr. season. I'm not reporting anything.
That's my favorite.
That's I can't wait, man. So check them out. Breckenridge Brewery also has the Seltzies, lemonades, and hard lemonades, and Seltzies, so all kinds of good stuff.
But just to tell you, like our bartender Darren is from Philadelphia. Don't order a Seltzy.
Why?
I mean,
he'll judge you.
No, order a seltzer. I mean, I don't think he likes a cutesy.
It says Seltzy in here. Is it not a Seltzy?
I mean, they're called seltzers.
Oh.
I mean, I think we all lovingly refer to them as Celsius. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think you call them a
want.
Celsius. Like, some people
Do
call
whatever
water
you want.
Wawa.
So long as it breaks
It just happens, man.
Do
It
whatever you
happens.
want. Who cares?
Also, if you guys hit up they are our beer partner. If you guys go to the store, grab a 6-pack, grab a 12 or whatever it is, snap a photo, let us know, let your friends know. Chevalier Mortgage, this one's near and dear to me, guys. www.dnvrmortgage.com. That is the website you're going to want to go to talk to Michael and Virginia Chevalier to get started on the path to home ownership. If you don't know if you're a first-time home buyer, it's not as hard or as intimidating as you think. It will probably be the best investment you make in your life, and it can be just a phone call away. Whether you're qualified now or not, you can call them and get started on it. Say, hey, I don't know if I'm qualified. I got this job. Here's what I got. They'll help you through the entire process. If you have bought homes before, maybe you're looking to refinance or you're wanting to know, hey, how much equity do I have in my home? Can I do this? Make Chevalier Mortgage your home for all of those things. They're absolutely fantastic. Customer service first. And then again, it's always nice. We always call it the DNVR family. Like, we have the DNVR cinematic universe as well. Mike and
DCU?
The DCU. Mike and Virginia Chevalier, they are your resource there. So they're friendly. They're very approachable. They'll answer all your questions. And then best of all, you already know you have one thing in common with them. You're a DNVR fan and a Denver sports fan. So you want to hit them up. Michael Chevalier, NMLS number 1931006. Virginia Chevalier, NMLS number 1910631.
Let's go.
All right, we got some super chat, Scale. The people super chatting tonight on this late night. Oh, am I supposed to read? All right, here we go.
I believe this is the only.
Leonard P says, I believe this is the only the fourth time a Nugget other than Jokic scored 30 in a game this season. Just goes to show how much of a load Jokic carries. That's a wild stat, man.
It is ridiculous.
I mean, he usually has Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. who could go off at those times. Also, we just talked about on the show that Will Barton, he's only had like one a season of those type of games. And the other time that he had that, Jokic was not there. But that is a great observation. It does go to show that Jokic is special when he's leading them in so many different ways that he can't take those type of nights off. So for him to get it, that's a welcomed big game from him.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's a really. As we're doing this, I want to look up and see how frequently this has happened. Like for different teams, like how many times have the Lakers had a player score that many points or what have you? Like I imagine there's 2 or 3 or 4 teams out there that don't have it. But
I mean, when we look back at this season, it's like the amount of work that Nikola Jokic has personally had to put in to get Nuggets even to the 6th seed. Versus, I mean, it's been talked about a lot leading up to this. Just how little he is getting from his supporting cast, specifically the bench, where every time he's off the floor, essentially they're the worst team in NBA history. Right. And every time he's on the court, they're the best team in NBA history, which seems weird to watch. But, I just know that looking back, we're just going to laugh at how absurd this goddamn season was.
It was extremely absurd. I'm looking at this, man. It's actually... Jokic only has 2 30-point games this year. Is that right? That seems kind of low.
It does.
So, pretty wild. Pretty wild. All right, what else we got?
Dope.
James says, Malone nailing rotations. It's encouraging, but it's a double-edged sword with stars returning. Bought the jacket after seeing Dev rock it. Nug drip.
Nug drip.
You are so influential, man. Everybody loves you. Like, honestly, if you ever go back and read the comments, half of them about Dev's clothing.
Well, you know what? I made half of the people's clothing, so.
Not Dev. Dev never wears your shirts.
You're actually right about that.
You ever notice? Dev never wears your clothing. Wow.
Man, that's crazy. I love your shirts. I love them. I go to the gym in them.
Oh, my God.
They're great to sleep in.
I'm going to start working at the Patriots.
I went to the gym yesterday, and a guy stopped me, and he's like, I kind of actually stopped him. He had a DNVR shirt on, and I was like, hey, do you watch that? He was like, you're Dev. I was like, yeah. He's like, do you have this shirt? I said, no.
That is the thirstiest story I've ever heard in my entire life.
It happened.
You stop someone looking for a compliment?
Well, he had a DNVR shirt on.
All right.
Yeah, Dev was just being friendly, man. What it really was a flex that he goes to the gym. That was the real point of that story. He's like, I was doing curls and I was up to 100 and I saw a guy walking by.
I stopped at 296 and
I saw this guy. All right, what else we got? DJ says, Certain Nuggets media slandering Jokic. Passive-aggressive crap all year since win against dumpster fire Blazers. Should stick to imaginary defensive numbers such as charges taken. The funny thing is, I don't even know who this is being taken a shot at.
Nuggets media.
Nuggets media. Wait, isn't it us?
No, it can't be us.
But
I have to understand.
Certain Nuggets media. So he wouldn't tell us.
Let's try. I'll bet it's Harrison.
No, let's try and
shit
figure
about Harrison.
Who uses
defensive charges taken?
No,
I'm going Blackburn. Screw you, Blackburn.
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Guy. Anyway, yeah, screw the rest of the Nuggets media. There's only one Nuggets media here in town. It's DNVR Nuggets. All right, what else we got? Tyler says, it's good to be back. Love it here and love celebrating with the DNVR fam. Jivali indeed, Tyler. Hey, guess what I'm bringing in Saturday, boys? Guess what I'm bringing in Saturday?
A bad attitude.
Well, I am bringing that for all of us. We are all going to have it when I bring in this new Rakia. I found a new one. I got two of the honeys, which are the fantastic one, but I got a new one. It's from Serbia. It looks terrible. I'm not going to lie. It's like it's like the color of Dev's shirt, the yellow there. It's like a real dehydrated looking yellow.
Sounds like Nuggets drip.
Does sound like Nuggets drip. All right, let's go around the association, shall we, Kel?
Oh man! Every time I see that graphic, a tear gets brought to my
eye. We've got the Warriors destroying the Trailblazers. The poor Trailblazers.
I thought,
man.
well, they were on a winning streak. They beat Milwaukee. They beat who else did they beat? They had two really surprisingly good wins. So maybe they're not better without CJ McCollum.
Steph had 14 assists tonight, which is an awful lot. That's a very high number of assists. Can I tell you guys the guy that I think is? I'm gonna give an unpopular opinion here. Unpopular NBA opinion. Dev, I'm really curious to hear your take on this. You know who I think is the most overrated player in the NBA?
In the whole NBA?
Well, I'm just throwing this off the cuff.
Okay, come on.
Anthony Simons. I don't think this dude's a player. Like, every time I'm on the timeline, people are raving about how good he is. Meanwhile, they lose by 40 every time he plays. And I just, he's a chucker.
He is a chucker. I don't like his game at all. Yeah, he reminds me of older Jalen Green, who, as you know, I hate.
Yeah.
I think that the guy is really, really good. Even in this game, look, they have minus 39, 28, minus 27, minus 26. He's a minus 11.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Hey, minus 11.
The type of guy that he is. No, but really, I think that he's really good. I do. I think that he
where does he fit into a championship team?
On the bench.
As a second option. I think he's a second option type of guy.
So you pair him with Yoke, we got it.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's a scorer. Like, he really can score. He's a good player. Like, we think that with Jamal Murray.
I don't even know what to say right now.
I think he's like
Jamal Murray.
I think so.
And people like Dev, they say nice things about him in the chat. I don't get it, man. I don't understand. They stop him in the gym.
No, he stops them in the gym.
That's true. He stops them in the gym.
I want to make sure that they're seeing Eric's cool shirts.
I'll tell you another thing that annoyed me on the timeline. Man, we're just having this has been a great show, but the around the association's a real downer today.
What are you saying? This is driven by you.
It is driven by me. Phoenix beats the Thunder 124-104. I saw the timeline tonight. Chris Paul's out. Everybody going, oh, man, thought you guys said we wouldn't. It was the Thunder.
It was the Thunder.
You know what I mean? They beat the Thunder, and they're like doing the victory lap of like, look, man, we didn't need Chris Paul.
They took down Josh Giddey.
They did take down Josh Giddey tonight, which is not that impressive. This one's a big one. The Timberwolves beat the Grizzlies 119-114. That's a big one, man. Because when we talk about the Nuggets in the standings 3 games up in the loss column on Minnesota, this was one of those games I looked at and I'm like, I think the Timberwolves will lose this one. They didn't. They won. So now they have tomorrow night, though. They do play the 76ers. Talk about a real Sophie's choice. Tomorrow night, who are you going for? The 76ers, because it would be a Timberwolves loss.
Yeah.
Or are you going for James Harden and Joel Embiid?
I am not going for anybody in that. I'm not going to acknowledge.
What do you want to happen?
I mean, I don't know. You're right. This is a lot of Sophie's choice. I want every team that's not the Nuggets to lose every single game. I don't like when any team succeeds. I don't care.
Where's your heart at, Dev?
I'm going to root for the better team, Sixers, in that type of game. It's just them coming back. I really don't care for it. But also, I think that they're in the West. I want them to lose games. I just like when they lose games, and elevates the Nuggets.
So if you listen to Tuesday's show, I had my guy Fast Break Breakfast, a.k.a. Keith Parrish, on, and he predicted that the Grizzlies would be the 2 seed. And he actually sold me on it. But this game, this was one of those ones, like, they got to win a couple that they're not supposed to. This was one of them.
Yep.
So now their odds of being the 3 seed actually go up a meaningful amount. And Denver, sitting in the 6 seed at the moment, that's kind of the matchup you want. I think Golden State would be a little bit tougher. So just kind of early looking at this. By the way, D'Angelo Russell had 37 points, 9 assists, went off. The Chicago Bulls, the story of the season, DeMar DeRozan. Really, man, I saw this on the time. He had 37 tonight. He had another game winner. This is like he's on a game-winning tour. I can't think of another player who has had his reputation change so much on his third team / at age 32. Like DeMar DeRozan, this has been the best year for his legacy or whatever, how we'll think about him. And it's like
he was a package deal in Toronto. It was he and Kyle Lowry. The two were never spoken about separately. It was always just the two of them. They couldn't get it done. They were Dame and CJ.
Right.
They
kind of were, yeah.
Yeah, he gets shipped off. Toronto then wins the championship without him. And he's like, everyone feels bad for him. He goes to San Antonio. The Nuggets beat them. It's like terrible. He didn't look good in San Antonio. I'm actually so surprised by this. I can't even really wrap my head around it.
It's cool, though. I like DeRozan, man.
Yeah, he's a guy that you have to like root for, and he plays the right way, like, and just different. Like he really just is stuck to who he was, like mid-range shots and just destroying people with I always said the cone drill like type of players. He's a cone drill legend. I know he's just destroying people out there, and he's also doing it on the court as well. Like for him to have a change of scenery and just play at this level like that, just good for him. Good for him.
Next game we've got the Nets lose to the Celtics. Man, this is tough, man. The Celtics are the best team in basketball right now. If you did like a recency, and when I say recency, I mean like since January 1st, Celtics are the best team somehow. That's the weirdest thing.
Somewhere Brendan Vogt is rolling over in his grave.
Man, there's no – you think Vogt was watching now? There's no way, huh?
No chance.
No
chance.
You
kidding?
No chance.
Vogt, if you put one letter in the chat, I will pay you $100.
And then lastly, the Pistons beat the Cavs. What the hell? How did that happen?
The Pistons beat the dude. I don't know.
The Pistons beat the Cavs. Not the poor Cavs. You know how this is going to shake. You know exactly how this is going to shake. The Cavs have been the Cinderella story all year. They're going to end up the 7 seed. They're going to like just fall apart at the very end, miss the play-in somehow.
Yeah, I don't think they have a point guard at all right now, though. I think that's what the issue is for the Cavs.
The Cavs right now are the 5 seed. And they are, oh my God, they are 1 loss away from the play-in. Poor Cavs. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. They're going to be in. Guess who they're going to play in the play-in? The Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so that's 1 loss. Let's go to the next round. Then we're going to have Charlotte or Atlanta. Atlanta's kind of streaking right now. Poor Cavs. What if it happens? Cinderella season last week, fall into the play-in, then get destroyed.
My Cavs, man.
Your Cavs. You're
talking about your calves.
No,
right?
my calves.
Not what we're
my
seeing.
My calves are also pretty special.
Well, we tried to wait as much as we can.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Sac. Apparently, I was told they're staying the night in Sac, which is not usually a stay-the-night city. But I think it's different this year with teams trying to get guys like more nights of sleep, like full nights of sleep and rest for health reasons. So I think you're staying over more places that you wouldn't.
How weird.
Yeah.
That's
Anyways.
strange. All right. Well, they were in no rush to get out of the gym.
Anyways.
So did you hear from any players?
No, we heard from Michael Malone, and I thought he had some really good stuff about winning his 300th game. Nikola Jokic gave him the game ball after, said some nice words. I saw in a video the Nuggets social account tweeted out, Jokic was like, I'm happy you got it here in Sac because they fired you, but you've been good to us, so congrats. And he gave him the game ball. It was a nice little moment. And then Michael Malone goes, look, this is a tough business. I got fired in my first job. I've seen my father get fired. This business is not for the weak-minded. To have ownership continue to believe in me means the world to me and my family. And then he said, here's to 300 more.
I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
I love it, man. We were debating earlier. So he's 132 away from Doug Moe.
Yeah.
Which I'd almost thought maybe never be passed. 50 games a season? That's a season, 2.5 seasons.
Can he pass him? It probably depends on how long Nikola Jokic plays for, you know? Jokic.
I think he's going to play for 3 more seasons.
Yeah. Well, then he's definitely going to pass.
I think he retires early. I think he retires young, but as in like 33 or 34, not 29.
If that's the case, I think he passes him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Mike Malone also said, like, they obviously got terrific games from Will, Monte. He said JMyke Green was great. He also said he thought Austin Rivers was great tonight. I called Austin Rivers the unsung hero of the game tonight.
You did?
Yes.
On the Zoom?
On Twitter.
Okay. All right.
I'm seeing a quote here on Twitter. Some are saying.
Great defense on De'Aaron Fox, I thought, and he got the defensive player of the game chain for those efforts.
There you go.
Austin Rivers.
That's solid stuff, man. I like it.
And then he also shouted at Will Barton. He said the break was good to Will, as it was to all the guys. Will was not great in Golden State, but was well rested and played well tonight.
Love it.
And then on Bones Highland, Malone goes, as we used to say, Davion Mitchell was in Bones' jockstrap the whole night.
He was.
He felt him.
Yeah.
But then he said, like, this is a learning opportunity
that part got
for
a little
him.
Weird. That follow-up, the felt part after the drop.
The extended metaphor on that was a little rough.
One metaphor was enough.
I got to give you the direct quote. I mean,
Okay,
I got
all
it.
right.
But then he said this is a learning opportunity for him to go up against a defender like Davion Mitchell.
Man, me and Michael Malone are like the same person. I can't believe it. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Made that very point right here.
I bet you did.
Yeah, great point.
Great point.
It's like we watched the same game.
It's amazing.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. Well, that was fruitful. That was a fun one. Do you have any big takeaways before we get out of here, just that you wanted to share?
Look, I didn't want to make it a bold prediction, but I was thinking in the back of my head that the Nuggets could rattle off 6 straight wins to open the post All-Star break stretch.
Is this still 2.0?
No, this is Nuggets 3.0.
No. We're past 2.0.
What? How many versions are we going to have?
Yo, they had 2.0.
No,
Then they had that
2.0.
devastating 3-game
No,
losing streak.
yeah.
This is Nuggets 2.0.
I think there's got to be some 2.5 maybe.
2.5.
Not quite 3.0. But I think, a 9-game winning streak is kind of on the table. They're going to be favored in these next 5 games. They got a sneaky, tough game tonight out of the way against Sac. So we'll see.
Alrighty, there you have it. Cue that outro music, Kale. Thanks, everybody, for riding with us once again. Don't forget, as I have said, tomorrow at 2:30, our interview with Bones Highland, me and D-Line right there. D-Line mostly giggled, although
I couldn't help it. Listen. I already know that people are gonna be like, God, why were you giggling the whole time? I was filled with real joy. If you want to see a 40-year-old man filled with real joy, watch me talk to Bones Highland.
That'll air tomorrow. It'll also be in podcast form, which, by the way, if you're listening to this as a podcast, or if you're watching us at home and you just want to do us a huge solid, one of the best things you could do for us, open up your Apple Podcast app, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and say some nice words about there so when other people are perusing, looking for podcasts, they know that this is the place to go for Denver Nuggets coverage. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget, Party Bus, March 26th. We'll see you guys next time.
Let's go.